Hi, I'm an angry fucking nerd. This podcast is fucking awesome, and you suck if you don't listen every single fucking week. Listener discretion is advised.
Just in now, a new study, probably carried out by Americans who can't drink for shit, have claimed there's no safe level of alcohol consumption. The report labelled fucking stupid has been branded a fraud with Irish drinkers, citing all the other studies that claim alcohol is actually healthy and good for the heart. The report's author, Dr. Emily Carson, stated the health risks associated with alcohol are massive, leading to suspicions that the researcher was drunk at the time when she concluded her study and was probably just winging it. The lying bitch stated our findings are consistent with other recent research, which found clear and convincing correlations between drinking and premature death, cancer, and cardiovascular problems.
I wouldn't believe that it was crack now. I remember me grandfather, God rest his soul, he drank 9 bottles of Guinness with a whiskey chaser every day. What?
Welcome to the American Moron Entertainment Network. Who's the idiot now?
I guess that's still us, eh?
This is the American Moron Entertainment Network.
There's that.
That's so, I put up there today that on the show that we're sponsored by Amen.
Yeah, I saw that.
I noticed that or not, but I'm overmodulating already. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, I don't know. It was all over the place. That's why I turned
I'm
it
getting
down.
red lights. But anyway, once again, you're tuned to the P word with the popping P's because I don't have a thing on this thing.
It's better than slavering sibilant.
But our equipment is always failing and not doing well because this is an amateur bullshit radio show.
Well, this time
That's
I think
not
we're
on the
actually
radio,
broadcasting.
podcast.
We are broadcasting.
Oh, good. Because
Look, we're looking at it.
last week I tuned in and on YouTube to check it out after work. We're like in the mid sentence when it comes on. We had Kelly James Yorkie in last week.
Hello, Justin.
I think he's going to come back. Hey, Robert, how are you? He says hi to Mark. Rob sits in the front of the stage and every time we play it.
Of course I do.
Oh, you're not even coming out.
He's got. Oh, at least by a dinner.
Hey.
Jesus.
Just remember, Mark. It's an ice cream
What's up,
cone.
Robert?
You get close enough to lick it, but don't lick it because you wouldn't want to. It is your microphone, though.
Oh, okay.
So,
Quiet you.
that's fine. So we have a special guest tonight who's not so special, but he's special to you. I see him all the time. It's Mark from Old School, Mark Burker.
What an intro.
Well, I see him all the time. He's not so special. He's just another guy.
Hey, he brought his beer, though.
See, he did.
And tequila.
And tequila.
Yeah.
Sinning again, Jim. Sinning again.
It's quite
I'm
good,
sorry.
you know.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I don't mean to thin.
it's okay.
Where's our Jesus approved stickers?
They're right behind you.
Oh.
I think over there. They're somewhere.
I don't know where
Maybe they're on the soundboard.
We'll find him later.
But yeah. So anyway, we got clearance from the Amen Network. Kind of ironic that that's what our thing is called.
That's what the P stands for. Irony.
Silent P.
The silent P. Yeah. There's a silent 12 in it too.
So big
I'll
news
spell how I want.
this week. July 4th is this week, and the big boy 4014.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Steam engine is coming through the area.
Is it here tomorrow?
Is it tomorrow morning they're doing the bagel thing? No,
they're
it's
either
Friday morning.
I know that it's supposed to be here. There's actually a tracker.
Well, it's going to be
It's going to be here in the train yard tomorrow.
in KOP.
Yeah.
And is the correct pronunciation is?
King of Prussia.
Thank you.
Always is. Always
We
has
we
been.
we did that you and I were sharing the Delco guy.
The Mark Nappy guy.
I like that guy. He's
I
good.
tried to get him on the show, and he just immediately stopped talking to me.
Oh,
I get that a lot. Like, people are like
Well,
really
that's-
interested, and I'm like, all right, yeah, let me know your availability.
Philly Captain, same thing. When
I think they
'cause
looked the show
I was
up.
gonna reach out to him and let him know. He was pumping my thing down in Wildwood.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, the announcement came on. I'm like, that's fucking me. But anyway,
See, I think it's a lot like Revenge of the Nerds. It's like, we got a fraternity that'll see us. It's like, is it the one you didn't send the picture to?
yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Hey, Kelly.
the train's gonna be down in the yard.
What is this train?
Oh, it's
I
the
don't even-
last of the big steam engines. It's almost 100. It's over 100 years.
Yeah.
What time is it
called
coming?
Big
It's called Big Boy.
So it's coming to the yard tomorrow. It's going to stay overnight in Abrams' yard. But the depot and the township of Bridgeport are closing down 4th Street and they're doing bagels and beer in the morning. Between 8:30 and 9:30, you can go down there.
And we'll be up because that fucker between our houses, they'll be starting at 6:30 in the morning again.
Well, they did today. I was working from home. It was
bitches.
great. So
Big Boy is in Jim Thorpe right now.
I am planning. It is.
It's just south of Jim Thorpe, heading
Okay.
to Packerton.
So it'll be here tomorrow.
right now.
So I'm planning on going down Friday morning to watch the train. I talked to the wife and I got permission.
Oh,
She said she wants to go.
So it's not tomorrow morning.
well, it's
No,
supposed to be
it's
there tomorrow
Friday
at some
morning.
point, but it'll be there Friday morning. I think it leaves Friday
okay.
afternoon. So
Mark a little boost because he's not licking the microphone.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Hey.
Oh,
See it much better it sounds when you do that?
it's a little distorted now. We did not test for proper modulation.
we never do.
Turn your low end down, give you a little more mid range. So Kelly had a different voice profile. There he is. There's Kelly just popped
Yeah,
in.
he's been there.
So thank you for tuning in, Kelly. Next week we're going to have Jericho Locuson from Hammersheet. He reached out and he's going to come on and do the show next
There was
week.
Big Boy.
So how do you tune in? Do you just
It's a podcast.
Yeah.
So, we're live on Facebook,
I mean, I see it, but I don't know if I'm in it.
but it
like,
stays on Facebook.
okay.
It stays on there for a month and then they delete it off my page.
But how do you log in, or how do you say, "Oh, they joined us"?
you go to my page and you click on it and then you're in.
Oh,
Or you-
okay.
Or you can go to YouTube
Or you
and
can
do
go to
basically the
YouTube,
same thing.
And it's there.
okay.
It's going to be on YouTube until the world ends, I guess.
I mean,
Yeah.
I just see it in my feed every now and again, and then I just kind of watch it. But I'm like, I don't know if you guys could see that I'm watching it, or
Not if it's
not
live.
afterwards. When we're live, we can see it, and that's about it.
Gotcha.
That's the only time. So if you want to experience it as it happens, and this is a modern phenomenon. Think about it. People watch TV now, but people don't watch TV live together anymore. Everybody's either DVRing it or they're watching it a month later on Netflix or wherever it is, whatever streaming program they're using. The age of mutual experience eludes us.
Tell me about it. I could tell you that just about my family. Like, we don't all sit there and watch the same show anymore.
I mean, remember like Saturday and Sunday, like Sunday night.
The whole family.
The Wonderful World of Disney would
Yes.
come on, and I'd be like, "Fuck, the weekend's nearly over." But then, like, there'd be like the ABC, CBS, it would be a movie of the week, and your
Right.
family would sit their ass down and watch whatever. I remember one time I was in grade school, and we watched The Wild Geese. You ever saw that movie? It's like a bunch of mercenaries go to South Africa.
I probably did. I don't
And
know.
and by the end of the movie, I was so like moved, and like, people died, people were, and I'm just like, I can't go to school tomorrow. I'm really upset about that. Roger Moore got shot in the leg.
But there's that shared experience that when we were growing up, and we sound like a bunch of old fucking idiots when we talk like this, but when we were growing up, there were maybe 2 or 3 TVs in the house. If you were lucky, in my house we had 2. We had the one in the living room, and my parents had a black and white in the bedroom. We had a color TV. in the
Yeah,
living room.
like we had the one in the den, which was basically the living room. One in the foyer, which was the living room in our house.
Gotcha.
The room nobody's supposed to go in. There was one in there.
Oh, what are you, Italian?
My dad was, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then my dad had this monstrous fucking thing. It was like this big. It was the biggest TV in the house, and it was black and white. The remote control was a pair of pliers.
The console.
It was like
you were the
an old-
remote.
it was an old Philco. Well, it was right next to his bed. But like some days, I was like, "How the hell do you get out of bed in the morning? Do you
But
climb over mom?"
Here's my point. Everybody wanted to watch the big color television in the living room, the central television,
We still
whatever,
fight with
whether it was
Cat
black
over
and
it,
white
yeah.
or color. Everybody wanted to be in the room where the TV was on. So there was this big silent debate that took place. What are we going to watch tonight?
Oh, there was no debate. My
No.
dad was
So
like, "This is what we're
my
watching."
dad always ruled the roost.
Yeah.
And luckily for me, my father and I liked a lot of the same things, except for when he went to watch a lot of sports. I didn't care for sports. I didn't give a shit. I was up in my room listening to fucking Kiss Alive 2 over
See, that's
and
the
over.
only time we bonded. We would go up when Flyers were on TV. He'd go up to his bedroom, lay there, put it on the big giant, movie screen size black and white piece of shit TV.
Yeah.
And then if it wasn't on TV because it was blacked out, he'd put it on the radio, and I would just sit up there lay on his leg, and we'd listen or watch the game.
Well, I remember
That was, like,
doing
the only
that
time
with
we
my
did
dad.
anything.
We used to do that in his bedroom, but the big thing was what was going to be on the television. Every night there was a different thing. The kids got Rule of the Roost from like 8 to 9. And that's when Happy Days and Laverne and Shirley and all that stuff were on.
But that was Tuesday nights.
But when I got a little bit older, you know, my dad and I think it was Thursday night, we would watch a couple shows, and Hill Street Blues came on at 10 o'clock, and everybody had to shut up. Because
Jerry Stringfield's ass might show.
That was the night that my dad and I, we watched our show, and then I think it was Friday nights we would watch the Dukes of Hazzard. Mm-hmm. And
Dallas
my
would
dad
come
liked
on.
Simon, and the Magnum PI. So we liked those shows. So my dad and I shared these TV shows, and if certain nights he worked, certain nights he didn't, depending on the schedule and what store he was working at. 'Cause my father worked in retail, so his schedule changed a lot. But when he was home, we watched these shows together, and that was that. And my mother didn't mind too much because it wasn't sports, and you know she could figure something out was going on, or she'd read her book. But the whole family was in that room, all of us, until my sister got a telephone.
We were until I think we came back to Florida when I was like 13. I would start going into the other room and just doing my own thing. Because that's where the stereo was too. So I put the headphones on.
Oh, we had the family stereo, the console.
Yeah, initially we had the one it was a hand-me-down from my sisters. But that didn't make it back from Florida because, as always, my mother gave it away to somebody after I paid like $150 to get it fixed.
The console stereo.
Yeah.
Right? Ours was like from the early 70s. My father sold appliances for a living. So we always had these really nice. We were poor as
So you guys
shit.
probably did you ever have a TV that was for video and a TV on bottom or top that was for sound?
My grandfather had the console with the TV built into it when he moved in our home.
No, I mean like two TVs. Like one only played sound, one only played video. And you stack them so that you have one
when they
working.
broke, and then we had to wait for the serviceman.
Yeah.
But my grandfather had the old tube color television downstairs. The RCA guy came at least 3 times a year to put new tubes in it.
Oh God, yeah.
But everybody wanted to be in that room, and we would all watch these shows. And I remember as a kid, the shared experience. You know, you went to school the next day, and everybody talked about that thing that happened. Or you'd be at services, and they wouldn't be talking about the reason we were there for services.
Oh, fuck that.
They were talking about Shogun, or or whatever the zeitgeist of the moment was on television.
Did you guys see Thornburg's? Yeah, that was the director's wife.
Exactly. Like that was the stuff that was going on. And that is gone. There was a brief moment, I'd say in the last 20 years, when American Idol rekindled that. When the first couple of years, it was a live show, you know, for the most part. So people were tuning in to take part in this experiment. And you had that for a moment, and then it went away. So what's the next thing that's going to happen? I don't know, but I don't think it's ever coming back.
I mean, we do watch things like there are certain shows we will record. I don't want to say tape,
But you're recording it.
but only because if we're not, Caitlin usually has to go to work really early and she can't stay up to watch it because we want to watch it together.
Understood.
So like Game of Thrones or not Game of Thrones. The Dragon Show. We're watching that. Hell's Kitchen. The three of us watch that. And a couple other shows like we all.
So you have your own little bubble of shared.
But there's nothing you're watching live. Anymore.
And that's gone. And that
Laugh
was
tracks.
It was a great thing. It was a great thing. Yeah. There was this thing. And if you didn't see that episode, this is before there was the ability to record, you had to wait till the summer.
Well, that was the whole
and hope that in that summer rerun schedule, the episode you missed was going to air
But it was
again.
the same thing with like holiday shows. Like if you missed Charlie Brown Thanksgiving,
you
didn't see it for a year.
Yeah.
So now it's like you can get it on a DVD or a Blu-ray or just stream it online or wherever the fuck you want, and nobody cares anymore.
It's so convenient.
It's not a special day anymore.
And when was the last time that was popular? Remember in the late 90s or mid 90s, everybody it was Thursday night TV. It was Friends.
Oh my God.
Seinfeld.
Well,
I used to go nuts.
Melrose Place.
It was big. They used to have it in bars.
If my father called during must-see TV, I'd be like, Dad, oh, I don't care about that Seinfeld. What are you watching? That show's stupid. My father didn't like that. The only show my father liked in the modern age was what you call it with Ted Bundy. Ted
Bundy.
Al Bundy.
Al Bundy.
What was it?
Married with Children.
Married with Children. He loved Married with Children.
See, I told you I walked in one
Which
time.
is funny because he was a retail guy.
Oh,
you know,
yeah,
he related to him.
Yeah, he probably did.
My stupid kids.
My first remembrance of anything like that was The Honeymooners. Then it was All in the Family, Sanford and Son.
Now the Honeymooners weren't on when you were a kid.
Reruns.
They were
reruns.
Yeah, they were reruns. Yeah. but that's what everybody would sit around with, and it was grandparents, parents, and you know, and you just your options were limited.
They were limited. You were stuck in the
Yeah.
room. So if you didn't partake, and television was a big deal.
Yeah.
It was exciting to sit in
It was
front
time
of
to sit with your family. I mean, it did suck when they wanted something on you didn't want to watch. And I used to I remember being like,
We were forced to watch Mutual of Omaha quite a bit.
See, when I was around 4 years, no, I think I was even. I think I was around 2 years old, and we had one of those swings they put in a doorway, and you know, for little kids, they used to like take.
Oh, I thought maybe your mom and dad were doing something.
No, not that swing. That was in the basement. No, it was one of those little plastic swings with like yellow nylon rope, and they nail it in the doorway, and they put the baby in it, which was me. And you just, you know, the kid swings in there, and you don't have to worry about him for a couple hours. Just do his own thing.
He's trapped.
So they're in there, and I can pick. I see it in my head, like Mutual Omaha's on.
Yeah.
And I wanted to die. I was seriously suicidal. I don't know why. It just was that
Mutual
show.
of Omaha.
Yeah,
I
there was-
never watched that.
So Mutual of Omaha was an insurance
Like,
company.
it's Wild
Yeah,
Kingdom.
well, yeah.
Wild Kingdom
Oh, okay.
was the
It's
name
an
of the
animal
show.
Oh, okay. So
But-
it's like PBS or something.
I think it was
It
on.
was on like Channel 3.
Yeah, 'cause
it
I'm
was-
like,
and
Mutual of
NBC at the
Omaha?
time.
What the
It was
heck?
one
It's
of
like-
the networks.
Ooh, there you see Jim is filming a gazelle being ripped apart by a lion.
This is nature at its best.
But like there was that, and like I remember my mom when I was in the hospital. My mom would come in.
Thank you,
and
John Griffenberg.
She'd take over the TV, and she was watching The Untouchables. You know, the old black and white
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
Sure.
Oh, I was so depressed. That was such a depressing fucking show.
Now, fast forwarding, when I got older, my grandfather bought another television. He put it in his bedroom. He got it from somebody, so he gave me his old black and white. So I get my first television in my bedroom. Mm-hmm. I'm probably in 11th or 12th grade. I think I was in 12th grade, and I remember it was like a Friday night. I would go out on a date with my girlfriend. We'd go out. We'd have dinner. I'd come home.
Go to the races.
And then I would put television on, and I would stay up till like 2 a.m. watching Macmillan and Wife or something. Just
God.
the thrill of the fact that I had a television in my room. I was watching these old detective shows, and it was super exciting to me to be able to do that. Just funny, man.
I remember when I got my first new TV, and it was a black and white in my room, and that's when the David Letterman show just started.
wow.
It was like we're talking.
That was
late,
the greatest thing in the world for people our age at that time.
But my very first used black and white TV, I think I was like 10 or 11. I was watching. My parents would be watching TV downstairs, and I'm watching the $6 Million Man, Emergency.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
What was the other? SWAT. They were my three favorite.
Well,
weekend
$6 Million
shows.
Man was one of those other moment shows where everybody was watching it. The parents got stuck watching it because the kids liked it. You had to watch it.
Yeah.
My friends next door had everything. I remember I was laughing like, you guys even had fucking Oscar Goldman.
I'll tell you another story.
Like there it is.
The droid.
Oh yeah, the fembots.
Yeah.
Yeah, but who the hell has Oscar Goldman? Who buys an Oscar Goldman doll?
Dude, I had the robot that had the face. I could switch to
Yeah, fembots.
Oscar. So I would use that for my Oscar Goldman. That was my
okay.
get around.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you did.
So I'm
workaround.
actually now watching all the old $6 Million Mans when I'm done my day.
They're kinda cool to
Yeah.
watch.
So I'm sitting there
I
like
watched like 10 of them one day.
after I've done my nighttime basketball workout, then I come home. I've done my practicing, and I take a shower, and I sit there in my shorts and tank top, and I'm in front of the TV doing my real estate stuff, all my admin stuff I do at night, and I just
Oscar.
run. I run those old $6 Million, and it's so weird because it's like all that stuff that looks so futuristic. Is I was like, oh my god,
is
that's
terrible.
terrible. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. In fact, the one I was watching was Oscar Goldman last night, and they tried to copy him and made a robot out of him. And at the end of the show, you see him holding Oscar Goldman's head, and it's like so.
I remember that
Yeah.
vividly. Like there were things that happened on that show as a kid that scared me
Yeah.
deeply. So I remember there was a family my parents were friends with in Jersey. They lived in Cherry Hill, and they had a big single home, 2-car garage, finished basement. I thought they were the richest people I ever met.
Yeah.
You know, coming from Philly, living in a little twin, and but we were at their house, and it was the night that Kiss was on the Nightbird interview.
Oh.
So, you know, I was really into Kiss at this point, and my parents were like, we're leaving at whatever time it was. And I'm like, but that's when the Nightbird show starts. I can't leave now. And they're like, you guys should stay. Let him see the Nightbird. And he's like, no. They're like, no, we got to go. So I had to wait 30 years
Yeah.
to watch that interview. And honestly, the anticipation that I felt, I found it on like YouTube somewhere. It wasn't as great as I had thought it would be, but the fact that they were sitting there not in makeup, that was it was a moment in my life. And my parents probably had no idea, like the decline
they
of that
don't
was a major, major impact on my young life.
Yeah, I know.
An hour of their time.
And I have a very similar situation where when I was a kid, I knew that Kiss was going to be on the Paulin Halloween special. It was a Paulin, and sure enough, there was an electrical storm, and we lost our electric just when Kiss was going to go on, so I completely missed it. My friend Peter Prince told me. He goes, "Oh yeah, I saw it," and he didn't even really care.
See, now, by the time I got into Kiss like 6 months after that. That was folklore to me.
Yeah.
So I finally got to watch it, through YouTube later on. Never knew that Pinky Tuscadero was on it with them.
What?
Yeah, she was actually a real. I can't think of her name right now.
I can't either.
Oh no. Leather Tuscad. Oh no. Pinky. That was somebody different.
Well, one of the Tuscaderos was on there with them.
Yeah.
And the witchy poo lady or whatever.
Oh dear God.
The witch from The Wizard of Oz was
Susie Quattro.
Susie Quattro.
That's her name.
So
Here you go. If you want to watch it right now,
we
just put-
can't. We'll get in trouble.
Right.
You can do it without sound.
you can put it on until they play the music.
And some of the video in that of Kiss playing was some of the best stuff that ever happened.
Yeah, I think it was Beth and Detroit Rock City, wasn't it?
So
Yeah.
maybe shout it out loud. I mean, that's H.R. Puffin-Stuff character there.
Yeah, I was so disappointed. Oh, I was so bummed out that night.
And they had the mirror logo. Like, what's that? I remember hearing about this and talking about it with
I thought I remember him talking to him.
little John Ross's Mark. Ed
I can't
Ribikowski saying
remember.
hi. Patricia Phillips is saying hi. So
John Ross said hello.
little John Ross.
Awesome.
I hear
Hey,
it.
Johnny.
You bastards. Here-
Yeah, but what's crazy is now when we go out to a restaurant, Riley's always, can we get out of here? Can we go? Can we go? And I'm like, yeah. I was like that when I was a kid. I was like, wait a minute. I had a reason for wanting to leave when I was a kid. I wanted to see my show.
That's right.
Because I said you could play video games anytime, whenever you want. Talk to your friends whenever you want. Cell phones.
She's just bored because the attention span,
just too
because
much
of the
to do.
video and because of the technology.
But
When's the last time someone went to the bathroom and didn't take their phone?
Yeah, but I
unless you're taking,
I used to watch. I used to watch my dad drink his
sometimes. I
coffee
see a
after
lot.
dessert at the restaurant, and I'm like, I keep looking. He goes, "What's the matter?" I said, "Are you almost done with that? Can we?
Oh, my mom was
about
the
ready?"
one. Yeah, my mom ate remember Big Bird eating the ice cream with birdseed? It took him like 5 hours to do it. That was my mom. It's like my dad and I would be done, and my mom would still be like not even started, and she would just very slowly eat her food. And
Well, there is a thing. I mean, I remember going out with my grandparents, and it was always we didn't go out to dinner much because we didn't do those things. But my grandfather, my mother's side, he would take everybody out to dinner, and it was a big deal. You got dressed up, you wore your best clothes.
these are my best clothes.
We would go to some fancy restaurant somewhere, and we'd eat dinner out, and the whole time I'd be like, if we get home in the next 30, I didn't have a watch. I was looking at my father's watch to see the time, but I'm like, the kids are out till 9:02, and they're still playing, probably running bases. So if we get home soon, I can change quick and at least get in one thing of running bases, or
I remember that before it gets dark.
before it gets dark.
Like the worst thing was coming home with your parents and you see everybody already out on the street.
Oh, it was
And they're like
devastating.
playing stickball or something. You're like, and you jump out of the car. I jumped out of the truck one time. My dad was very pissed because I face planted, not realizing physics and all. But as soon as I got home, I'm like,
Seems to be a running.
that's why I went to school. I finally learned a lot of stuff about that. I don't jump out of cars anymore. But no, I remember many times, man, like coming home, you're like, you jump out of the car and run over. What are we doing? Like, oh, we're going in.
No, I'm not.
Fuck.
No, I'm here.
Well,
Let's
there was-
do this.
I remember all the years up until I think I was like the summer I was 13, maybe 12. I swear I remember
Hey, Dana.
dinner would come, people would go in, and that was it. Like nobody would stay out after dinner. And then I think it was the summer when I turned 12 years old, like all of a sudden people like, what are you doing after dinner?
Yeah, right.
After dinner? Oh, wow. I never
See,
thought
now,
of
my
such
neighborhood,
a
it was
thing.
always constant. It was interesting. So we had twin homes, and we had a common driveway in the back, and then you had a little driveway that went to your house. And in those days, the homes were only about 15, 16 years old, so there wasn't any construction back there. There wasn't the backyard lawns were still there. Maybe somebody expanded to put an extra car in their driveway, but
Put one of the
basically it
plastic
was
swimming pools in
It was
the
an open field of dreams to us.
Yeah.
Just don't hit the cars when you're playing the game because then the guy's going to come out with the baseball bat and scream at you. But
We used tennis balls. That was a ground rule double.
recently, always, I went on Google Maps and I looked at my old street, and everybody built these decks that come all the way out, and now the driveway is just this sliver, and there's nowhere for the kids to play in the driveway. And the schoolyard that was across the street from my house was an open schoolyard. It was J.H. Moore Elementary. And now they filled that parking lot, or whatever it was, with buildings. There's no place to play, and it's a locked gate, and they bring cars in there. And when I was a kid, we were over there. That was my playground, and it's just funny. Like you think about the fact that people say that the kids need to get out and play, but there's nowhere really for them to go in the city.
Yeah,
anymore.
where are they going to play? I mean,
Right.
around here you have parks and stuff, and
Yeah.
God knows they have their electric bikes, but
You know what's funny is when you used to live next to my parents.
Yeah.
Those houses across the street, when we first moved in, I was a toddler, they weren't built yet.
That's cool.
And I used to play over there. And I mean, now when somebody's going to build a data center or something, they have these big town hall meetings and everybody's protesting. But my mom actually called the builder and said, hey, stop building over there. My son likes to play over there. Like, that was going to do anything. But I love the fact that she had no problems with just picking up the phone and saying, hey.
It's a different world, dude. It was a different world. It is funny.
And I forgot about that, but my dad God bless him, he's 95 years old. He just called me and told me, he said, I remember when we bought this house, and they didn't have those houses built across the street. And, your mom called the builder, and she really gave him hell about, not building houses. I'm sorry. I didn't
Terry said, yo, Mark.
Hey, Terry.
But yeah, I mean, like that's the thing. Like I find myself like my dad. We used to, we'd go. They were bored, and like my mother would be like, "I'm bored. What do you want to do?" I don't know, and that would go on for days. So my dad would eventually drag. My sisters were gone by then, and they dragged the three of us like up to Dutch country.
That's cool, though.
No, it's not. No, not after 3 years of going to Dutch Wonderland for breakfast.
Okay.
And getting lost somehow on Route 30.
See, dude, I
but
went to Dutch Wonderland once as a kid.
Not Dutch Wonderland. I'm sorry, the Dutch Haven, the restaurant, Dutch Haven.
I wouldn't know.
But we went up there all the time, and it was just because they had nothing else to do. We took a drive one time in 1979, and I was
There was that one time in 79.
well, I know it was 1979 because I was like, Dad, 3 Mile Island's like half a mile from here. We should probably go.
Put the Pepsi away.
It was right in the middle of the Pepsi syndrome. Yes. It was right as that was going on. They decided to drive out to it for the first time, but they always got lost. They always argued.
Yeah.
But everywhere we went, he's like, I remember you could drive for hours and not see a single person. I'm like, that sounds dangerous. Or he would be like, over there used to be, like he never called Franzones. It was always DeJohn's.
Oh, okay.
He refused to call it Franzones. And now, like, I realize, like, I'm driving around with Kat, and I'm doing the same fucking thing.
That's what happens.
And
we
I'm
become
like,
our parents.
What the fuck happened to me? How did this... I don't want to be the guy rolling around going like, yeah, I remember how those hot dogs at the Purple Cow. Jeez.
My dad,
fucking kill me now.
as a kid, he would take us back to the places where he grew up and go, I grew up here. And you're like, what? It wasn't like this. It was a little different.
Yeah. I tried doing that with her once. I'm like, yeah, it wasn't a drugstore. Back then it was a junkyard, and we used to play in the tire stacks. So one day I found a fish in the tire. I could not, to this day, explain that.
The smell.
Oh, yeah.
I just took my daughter through Manayunk yesterday. I was like, yeah, I said, I used to play there. I used to bartend there.
I didn't know you bartended.
Well, yeah, between tours after while I was
See, the
tapping a
stuff
van.
you learn on the P word.
I would go back to to the Grape Street, and they and Andrew Geiger was really instrumental in helping me getting my guitar repair business.
I remember you had an office for your guitar stuff up there.
But that was at the new Grape
The
Street,
warehouse, yeah.
not the one on actual Grape Street. But he started helping me, and I was like, and he said, well, listen, I'll tell you what, you teach me how to play guitar a little bit, you show me some of what you could do, and I'll teach you how to bartend. I was like, that would be great. And I was a terrible bartender. These guys were good. This is how they would bartend. I mean, and granted, it was basically a beer and shot kind of place, but you'd get these influx of people that would come in like,
hey, man.
No. I need 2 Long Island iced teas. I need a rum and Coke. One's got to be a diet rum and Coke. And then I need 3 Heinekens, 2 Amstel Lights.
Whoa, let me get a pay.
But no, it gets worse. They didn't have, the cash registers didn't work. They were either open or shut. They did, all these bartenders did the math in their head.
Oh, that's not
Bree
me.
used to work at the Plaza Theater, and they did the same thing.
Yeah.
People would come in, they'd be like, I want a large buttered popcorn, 3 of these, 6 sodas, this, that. And they had to do all that math, including the tax, in their fucking head.
Yeah. Needless to say, I was
Like, nope.
I was happy for the opportunity and to hang out there and learn how to do that, but I wasn't very good at that at all. And I said, "How do you make a Long Island iced tea?" He said, "You grab these 3
put
bottles.
everything in the
You
fucking
grab
thing."
these 3 bottles in this hand, these 3 bottles in this hand, and you pour until there's a little space left, and then you top it off with
Coke.
whatever it is. Yeah." And he said, "That's a Long Island iced tea." And I remember the first few
My
I made,
favorite
they were
drink
like,
as a kid.
"Oh my God, this is the best Long Island iced tea I ever had." I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, I used to make those all the time. I made 2 of
Dude.
them, and they gave me like a $20 tip off.
That was the drink that got me in trouble every single
Because it's got
time.
half a bar worth of booze in it, man.
What a great
Oh
drink.
my gosh, yeah.
No wonder I loved it so much. But it didn't taste like booze. It tasted good.
If you
Yeah.
made it right, it did. We put sweet and sour in ours. So we'd like do sour mix, Coke for the color.
Yeah.
And then gin, tequila, rum, vodka.
It's amazing that gin's in the mix there. Yeah, because gin doesn't mix well with
Well,
others.
I told you, when I was a kid, I was underage. I was bartending.
I was underage when
And
I
I
had
was,
my first
we
Long
used to
Island
taste
iced
like the daiquiris, like there's a little left and let's see if it's okay.
tea. Yeah.
But like, I was trying to figure stuff out, like why, like I couldn't, this time I wasn't drinking beer because my dad only got shit beer and it was bad. And I didn't like it.
Ballantine.
No, it was like Schmitz,
Stegmaier.
Budweiser and Schmitz.
See, I
When-
grew
when
up
they
in a
wanted
house
to-
where we had no beer. I
When
didn't even know
when we would
that
dress
was a
up, he'd go
thing.
to my uncle's and get Michelob, But like, it wasn't anything I liked. And so I'm sitting there like, all right, I need to understand why people order this shit. So I pulled up some gin. It was Bankers Club gin. Now, gin itself doesn't really taste this bad, but when I pulled the Bankers Club gin, which is the bottom rack shit, if you don't specify what you want, you get this shit.
Hey, Mary.
And hello, everyone. And I put a little bit in a glass. Fuck. It tastes like cellophane tape.
Oh, it's bad.
If you chew, yeah.
Here,
I
chew
don't,
on this.
I'm good. If you chew Scotch tape,
Tonic?
tonic tastes like vomit.
No, this and tonic.
Yeah. That was the thing. The gin tastes like tape, and then the tonic water tastes like vomit after, like if you just threw up, like that taste.
Thanks, Jim. I just ate dinner. Thanks.
Hey, fuck it.
Feel much better
But
now.
no, but I'm like, why would people? And I put them together like, okay, this is gonna be, vomit and tape, and it was really good.
Right.
And
That's
I'm like,
the
well,
magic of
this is chemistry. This is
No,
alchemy. It's magic.
Alchemy. It's alchemy. It's not chemistry. It's alchemy. I say that all the time about making drinks.
Speaking of which, you guys ready for these?
Yes.
Oh, you got some goodies?
Oh, absolutely.
Ooh.
We have to do our tasting.
Now,
Although
I'm-
we did drink Ring the Bell. Mark brought it down.
Which we have done before.
It's
We
quite
have.
good,
Conshohocken and Brewing.
I'm opening these for you guys just because I did knock my bag over before
Oh
I came.
boy, I'm gonna be up peeing all night.
That's what happens.
Hey, I've been doing really good with that. I don't.
I've noticed that
I
when
slept a full night last night.
when I get to shows now,
I tried to.
I don't run to the bathroom as much, except for right before the set. But
It's only like when you get to that certain threshold where like, okay, bladder's full, every beer you're going to piss.
that does happen
There is a
occasionally, but
threshold.
not like it used to. So, Brooklyn Brewery.
I love
these guys.
Brooklyn is one of my favorite breweries.
So how do you pronounce this? Phonio or Fonio?
I don't know. Fonio. However the hell you pronounce Fonio.
Fonio.
I guess Fonio. I don't know. Fonio.
I like pale ales, so this should be interesting.
Fonio,
Is it
right?
Yingwei,
It's a-
Yingwei?
Yeah.
Right.
So it's a pale ale with ancient West African super grain.
Wow.
So I don't know what the hell that
It's got
means.
lineage.
But it's got super African grain in it, and it's a nice color.
All right.
So
It's fresh, it's fruity, and it's
Ooh,
citrus.
that's
Let's see.
the different smell. I like that.
This
Smells,
I'll have to try this.
smells like
There's
a
a-
plug-in.
smells like cat litter. Okay, let's
Does
go.
not smell like cat litter.
Interesting.
That's a lot of flavor.
A lot
so
of
there's a
stuff
little
going-
sour.
And it's
Fruity, citrusy.
Yeah. I
This
taste
is,
like
this
an
is a good
orange
summer
peel.
beer, man.
Yeah, but for me, it's not overbearing because I'm not a huge beer drinker.
Well, when I knew you were coming, that's why I decided on this one.
Yeah.
I
Terry-
knew you weren't a big beer
Terry
drinker.
said I have to pee a lot. Terry,
No, she said you'd still peel a lot.
I-
So I was a little worried
well,
about that.
I
You
do
get out in the
peel.
sun
I
a
peel
lot,
when
huh?
I pee.
Mm.
This is good. Oh, by the way,
I like this.
I just got word
Oh.
that for whatever reason, after this weekend, they're not going to be playing my warning message in Wildwood for some reason.
Oh?
I don't know if they're
Why?
I don't know if they're lifting the ban or what they're going to do, but maybe they need a new recording. I don't know. So I'm waiting to hear. I got this direct from the source because
I thought you were the
Nance
source.
got the email
warning
to shut it down.
You know, COVID's been over for quite
No, they're
some time.
not playing the COVID
Oh,
thing. This is if you're under the age of 18 and you're unaccompanied by an adult, your guardian can be fined. I don't remember the exact words of it, but
If you are under the age of 18 and you are on the boardwalk after hours, we will fucking kill you.
But occasionally I will get a message, Mark, when I'm minding my own business, living in my life, and somebody like, dude, I swear I'm hearing your voice on the boardwalk. And I'm like, you're not imagining things. No, that's me. I'm talking about Wildwood. And
I imagine you walk down the boardwalk as you're just walking down. You're just going, hello and welcome to thank you for coming to the Wildwoods.
what I did do was last year or the year before, Nance and I went down. They were doing one of those drone shows, and I had done the voiceover for the drone show. We're gonna do the drone show, and coming up next, blah
If
blah
you
blah.
look up, we're about to drop some ordnance on
And
you.
then I did a countdown and all this stuff, and we're standing there, and Nancy and I were filming ourselves watching this, and we're under a speaker, and this lady's looking at me as I'm speaking to Nancy, and she's going,
You don't look like a tram car.
she's like, wait a minute, that's the same voice. Like you could tell the wheels in her head were turning that was the same person, because your immediate feeling when you are watching one of these things, and this goes back to that shared experience, is you expect that there's some person standing somewhere with a microphone saying, and now we are going to unveil the blah 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 blah. Let's all count down. And they think that there's some person there, but meanwhile, oh no, it's that guy right there, and it's a recording. Like,
No, I'm actually just hanging out on the boardwalk and doing this.
I'm filming you, watching me, listening to me.
That
Or
sounds like, isn't
however,
that a song?
something.
Watching
Looking at you,
watching
looking at me. That's an Ozzy song.
Yeah.
Actually, yesterday, I found recordings of Ozzy. It was from when, right before or right after Blizzard of Oz came out. It's the original lineup of the band, Lee Kerslake and Bob Daisley
yeah.
and Randy. And there are recordings of them in London playing together. They're very, very, very good recordings.
You found these.
Well, somebody posted them, and I listened to them.
You know what I've always wondered, and I never really questioned it. It's actually coming up now, and maybe somebody might know, but I wonder what Randy thought about those two guys getting ousted from the band and bringing Tommy Aldridge in. Well, the other guy was his buddy.
His buddy, yeah.
But
and
I
and
wonder-
Tommy Aldridge being a very respected drummer.
Yeah.
So what it was either Lee Kerslake or the other guy we're talking about, and I was reading an interview while I was listening to this. They were saying that the difference between the two is that when the original band was doing the songs, Randy was doing interpretive work. He was ad-libbing and changing things and building things and trying things, and they were intuitive enough to follow
Right.
his lead and do different things and do things on the fly. He said when they left and the other two guys came in, everything became very formulaic
Yeah.
and
Kind
predictable.
of like the video that we were looking at earlier.
Yes. He said it became very, very, very boring. So the intro into Crazy Train in particular, Randy is doing this long feedback thing. He's doing like these solos of feet, almost a la Ted Nugent kind of stuff like that. And you hear them they're just locked in and they're waiting, they're waiting. They're not jumping the beat until he hits that mark. And then some of his improvisational fills, that which you and I sync up on occasionally when we're playing, he's doing different things. He's trying things. And they said all that went away when Rudy and Tommy came in.
Wow.
Which is interesting. I mean, it's an interesting thing. I meant to forward you this, but it's out there now. Somebody released all these tapes, or whatever it is you call them, and that's a cool thing. I mean,
Like there were tapes back
then.
then.
This is so for me when I was growing up. I remember everybody was into Eddie Van Halen. I was into Randy Rhoads. Randy Rhoads was the guy I was into. It started with Ace Frehley. It was Ted Nugent. It was Jimmy Page. It was Tony Iommi, and then it was Randy Rhoads. That was my ascension. And I was really not into Van Halen until about 1982. I just thought that they sounded kind of like Molly Hatchet because their singer sounded like the singer from Molly Hatchet to me, and I just wasn't into that sound. I didn't know anything about guitar or anything. I just knew what I liked. But I liked Randy Rhoads because he had this classical kind of improvisational dark side of music thing going on, which of course is not what he really liked, but that's the way it came across in Ozzy. And that was very appealing to me. And it was sometime around Fair Warning, just shortly before that I got into Van Halen, and it was when I had started playing guitar, and then it was like the light bulb went off, and it was like, aha, Eddie Van Halen. Oh.
He did seem to know his
I
shit, yeah.
see what's happening here. I understand. And slowly, as I got older, and I learned that some of the best Kiss stuff that I loved was actually based on demos that Eddie wrote the parts for. He wrote a lot of the stuff in Kiss songs. He wrote the solo in Christine 16.
Did he really?
He was on the demo that Gene recorded. And he was very insulted because Gene wanted him to play the bow now, blah ba da ba da 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 ba da 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 bow now. That's Eddie Van Halen's riff. So I heard the demo.
Oh, Ace was insulted.
Ace was insulted that he had to learn this other person's solo. He's like, not that he didn't respect Eddie, but I'm Ace fucking Frehley. Like, I'm the fucking king of the hill.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, and that's some of the stuff that was off my favorite two records. My favorite two records growing up were Love Gun and Rock and Roll Over. There's a couple throwaways on Love Gun, and we won't get into that. But for the most part, they were my two favorite records. And if you could take the stuff off of Alive 2, the fourth side, and substituted some of those shitty songs on Love Gun, everything would have been fine. And then if you'd taken the two solo albums, I'm really going deep here. If you'd taken Paul and Ace's solo albums and made those the main songs on a Kiss record, with Gene maybe singing some of the Ace songs, boom, they would have had as big a record as Love Gun instead of putting out that shithole Dynasty, which, listen, I love it. It's everything Kiss did to me. There's a special part
I don't think
in my
you're
life.
allowed to not love it.
But that was not the record I was wanting or expecting at the time it came out. And what I wanted was Love Gun or Rock and Roll Over 2 or 3 or...
Well, that was like slang for me.
So
slang was awful.
I mean, my neighbor up the street, John DiPadova, his brother was responsible for me getting into playing guitar. And I remember the only really music I would know is my dad had an FM radio in his 68 Corvair,
which was a very
and
that was pretty advanced at that time.
And all he would listen to was WFLM, which was the classical radio station. Then in the 70s, he bought my mom a Plymouth Valiant, a 71 Plymouth Valiant. And she only had AM radio.
Slant 6.
Yeah, and I could actually, for somebody who's not mechanically inclined, I could change my oil in that car when I was 16, and it lasted a long time. That
Because
car.
it was a Slant 6.
But nonetheless,
One of the greatest motors ever made.
But you open up the hood in that car, and what do you see? Space. It was
The
just
final
this.
frontier.
Yeah,
Because it was a Slant 6. It was a small engine. You
But-
could have put a 340 in there.
But the AM radio was really like, was it WIBG and WFIL were the
Yes.
two stations we would like toggle between.
Hot Hits 100.
Yeah, I mean, we hear everything from America to Peter Frampton to Elton John to Carly Simon to whomever.
That's what we listened to WIP
Yeah.
in my house and
And-
Wibbage 100.
So that's all I knew, and I liked all those songs. I was like, oh my gosh, these songs are so memorable. But then when my buddy John, I started hanging out with his brother. His brother played drums, and I thought that was cool. And he said, and I heard him playing this record. I'm like, what's that? And he goes, it's this band Kiss, and he shows me the record. And it was
Yeah.
Kiss Alive 1. I was like, whoa. And then he shows me this other record, Destroyer, and I was like, this band's incredible. And then he turned me on to this other band, Angel, who didn't have as much success.
And they're still out there.
Yeah. So at any rate, I went and got the record, and then that's when this guy, Dave Sharp, my school teacher, he got me into playing guitar, and he got my first lessons with this guy, Jerry Caiazzo, and that's how I started. But getting back to what you were talking about earlier with
Right.
Randy Rhoads, how I was into Eddie Van Halen before that, but back in those days, it was such a phenomenon that, you kind of turn, a lot of guitar players like, oh, well, yeah, I could do that stuff. I had all that distortion. He's just using a lot of distortion. That was the mindset. Then.
Of course it was.
Nobody pulled everything apart the way they did, decades later. And now we're like, oh my gosh, if you really think about it, the rhythm, you think like, yeah, it was a lot of mistakes. Like, I don't know. He just kind of like did this. No, there was no kind of like. He
was doing
he
that.
Had
It was
a very
intention.
a very specific upbeats and
It was
scrapes.
Big
and,
band esque playing. There is an aspect to his playing which is based on percussion. It is big band.
Yeah. Well, yeah, a lot of shuffles and grooves
and that's where David Lee Roth, for all of his misgivings and lack of talent in certain areas, that guy, he's a big band guy.
Yeah.
He fits right in that situation perfectly. He is the perfect vocalist for what was happening at that time and creating the 4-part harmony that became legendary. If you were around at the time we are in now, everybody goes, Eddie Van Halen was Van Halen. It wasn't like that back in the day. Back in the day, of course, Eddie Van Halen was an amazing guitar player and top of the heap, but there were a lot of very good guitar players at that time. He was just another great guitar player in a band. David Lee Roth had as much star power as Eddie Van Halen did in the world.
More, really, and that's what caused the problem.
It did.
But what I was talking about...
Very good point, Jim. 7.5.
In regard to Eddie and like people not really understanding him, I kind of didn't either. So when I started taking classical guitar lessons and then I heard of Randy Rhoads, I could identify with that a little bit more because it was a little bit more scalar, arpeggiated. Yes, more structured, and I could understand. I could identify it. I could learn it a little bit better. And, I was able to... He became my favorite guitar player. And Eddie, I didn't listen to as much until later. I was playing some of the Randy Rhoads stuff on my acoustic guitar on this balcony. It was like, I think it was, I was with John King and we were at his high school, like, what do you call it when you go down the shore? Senior week.
Senior week. Oh,
yeah.
wow.
And remember Alan Agonis?
Yes.
He was walking by with his buddies and he goes, dude, can I come up and jam? And I was like, and he came up and he started doing like, all these Eddie licks. And I was like, how did you learn how to do that? Because you couldn't, like,
There was no way to find that.
You could put the needle back on the record, and it's like you couldn't really make out like binka, like it it didn't make any sense for you to copy it and slow it down. Where I could do with the Randy stuff was like da 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 da. It wasn't that way with Van Halen, so it was
No.
harder to copy. And he said, "Oh, it's a tape. You could just you download the tape, or not download. Listen to me.
Slow it down.
He said you could order this cassette tape, and it was like,
Oh.
and I bought these cassette tapes.
Did you
and-
really?
Oh yeah, I had the Randy Rhoads one. I had the Eddie Van Halen one, and that's how I was able to actually start learning how to do the tapping and understanding how he was doing the techniques he was doing. But yeah, but more, I would say in the last 15, 20 years, I really appreciate everything. Like all the little nuances, the pick scrapes, the
Everything's
weird
important.
tuning,
Yeah.
To get
The
the
G strings
G and
slightly-
B strings.
yeah.
It's crazy. I went down that rabbit hole as so many people have done. But yeah, to me, he's my favorite all-time guitar player. Like just one of the most original people as far as playing, gear, ideas.
Well,
Just
he-
coming up with his own.
There is no person other than Les Paul and Jimi Hendrix that have changed the face of rock guitar, let alone musical guitar.
Yeah, and well,
Eddie Van Halen.
And the saddest part is one of the most innovative players of all time is Alan Holdsworth, and he died a poor man. Like it's just
I just read a whole bio on Alan Holdsworth.
yeah. I mean he was a hard listen, especially for a young guy like me who didn't really have the harmonic background at the time to understand like a lot of the 4-part harmony and where he was coming from because nobody really knew. You didn't have YouTube back then, so you kind
So
of
he
had
was
to
in
just
that Habvinishu whatever thing. With
Mahavishnu Orchestra. No,
Thank
so
you.
that was John McLaughlin.
Oh, okay.
So Alan Holdsworth, oh geez, who he played with?
Holdsworth had a Carvin guitar at one point.
Yeah, but before that, when he first started, he was playing an SG, and then he had a Strat, and then he was with Charvel, then he was with Ibanez. So when I worked at Ibanez,
Oh wow.
they made the Ibanez model, and then he got into the Steinberger thing, and then the headless thing, the Keisel thing, and Carvin, every other
Yeah.
thing that he was doing more recently. But yeah, those first few records that he put out were just really, mind blowing to me, and they were very abstract and just really avant garde.
See, I didn't hear about those guys. I was in 10th grade. So I was in maybe it was 11th grade. 11th grade. I took music theory in high school. Believe it or not, that was a class at my school. And my teacher, Harry Giamo, was a session player at Valley Forge Music Fair. Mm-hmm. And he played multiple instruments. And he was a very strict teacher. He's very hardcore. But the guy was the greatest guy in the world. He was one of my heroes as I was, and I didn't do harmony too. I should have gone, but I wasn't very good at all this sight reading and chart reading. And
Right.
I'm an improvisational player, which you've learned over the years and being with me.
Mm-hmm.
I am not a learned player. I'm a gut player.
That's what makes you you.
I think, and it's what works well between the two of us.
Yeah.
You show me the nuanced things that you want me to do, and eventually some of them sink in, and I understand, and sometimes the light bulb goes off, and sometimes it doesn't, but whatever happens, we do these things together. Mark and I have these magic moments, and if you're ever at an old school show,
No,
you'll see them.
Some of the best magic moments is when he's mad at me. and he gets mad at me because I'm like, yeah, they want to hear this song. Like, I don't know that song. Just play, just it's A and E. Just follow me. Just solo. He goes, I don't know. Just do it in E. And he gets upset. And then at the end, like, boom. Oh my God, I'm so glad we did that. I had this energy. I'm like, yeah. I said, I pushed you beyond what
He does. He
what your
takes me out of
comfort
my
level
comfort zone.
is.
That's
multiple
exactly his
times.
reaction to pegging.
Why are you telling that on the air?
I thought we
That's
talked
only on
about it.
It's on the OnlyFans channel.
You just ruined a beautiful moment.
That's what I do.
But anyway, back to what you said about like how the players back then were great.
Everybody was
here's-
great.
Here's something that Jimmy Bruno, that I learned from him when I studied jazz for a short period of time, and I only studied this with him because I wanted to learn the speed picking. Everything was picking back in the day.
Yeah, it was.
It was a big mystery. It's not like YouTube where you have 50,000 different players trying to teach you how to, hold your pick this way, downward pick slanting. Nope, there was none of that stuff. And Jimmy Bruno, I said, man, how'd you learn how to like do all these Paganini things? And he goes, well, you had to learn all that stuff before you got into jazz. You couldn't play, you couldn't even take jazz lessons. Like, it was a prerequisite that you learned all the violin exercises. You had to learn the Bach two-part inventions, and then you had to learn all the Paganini stuff. And that was just, you learned that before, and then you got into like jazz and learning all that stuff. And that was all, a lot of it came from this guy. Now, Jimmy didn't study with Dennis Sandoli, but Dennis Sandoli was like the godfather of teaching musicians, jazz musicians back in the day. And in fact, he taught John Coltrane.
Oh, wow.
Not a lot of people know that. But yeah, so, and I studied with several of Dennis Sandoli's students. Everybody from Chuck Anderson, Joe Federico, Scott McGill, like all those cats were like phenomenal. But the teaching was very
structured.
Yeah, very structured. Like, you learned, they gave you 10 things to do, and they didn't play a lot at the lessons, and you had to learn these things and then come back and play them again. And if you got too much into playing, then you weren't really a teacher, you were a shower. With that being said,
interesting.
I'm very right-brained, so when I started studying with Jimmy, who didn't really learn that way, and he's looking through my book, and he said, and I won't even mention the teacher I studied with, he goes, you understand all this shit, internal modulation? He goes, this is all a bunch. He goes, that guy was a jerk off. He always was.
See, no, it's funny.
He said, don't you know that all jazz is 2-5-1? And again, I didn't want to study jazz. I just wanted to learn the picking. So then I started studying with Jimmy, and we didn't even really talk about theory. We played.
Just played.
Yeah, we
So
played.
when
Check another one.
at
No, I'm still working on this.
I met you, and you told me about Jimmy Bruno. I feel like this was around the same time, maybe
Yeah.
a couple years after. And
At
I
our
found
age,
out that
time
he
has no
played
meaning.
at that pizza place in
JJ Grotto.
Yeah, Grotto's.
Yeah, that's where we used to go.
So I
see
used
him.
to watch my aunt and uncle's house in Center City. So we all decided to go down to Grotto's, and we watched Jimmy play. And I sheepishly approached him because I knew you knew him, and I said, I was like, I might be interested in taking some lessons, and he gave me his phone number, and I was so intimidated by his skill
Yeah.
that I refused to call him. And that's something that happens with me as a player. I become very intimidated watching other people play, to the point that I can fuck myself at a gig thinking about who's in the audience watching me to this day.
And that's not abnormal, because I will share this with everybody out there. And I know a lot of people know the band Street Talk. And before I'd ever seen Street Talk, somebody told me, take lessons with this guy, Mark
There are
Hafer.
common theme on this show is Street Talk.
Mark Hafer, I hadn't seen Street Talk yet, and he said, yeah, I don't even really practice. I'm just writing songs for my band Street Talk. And I took lessons with him. He was so good that I couldn't even play with him. My hands were like shaking, and he's like,
See,
he says,
I can't even imagine
And he
you.
actually said, he goes, what, are you nervous, dude? He goes, just relax. And I'm like, oh, no, I'm cool. No, I wasn't. I took 4 lessons with him. I couldn't even go back. I was like embarrassed to go back. He
that
was
funny?
that good.
That
But
makes me feel good hearing this.
but that's okay. So when I studied with Chuck Anderson, it was the same thing. Like, he wouldn't pick up a guitar; he would just sit there and watch me play. And it was like
It's like you're a
nerve-wracking.
psychoanalyst, and they're like, tell me your life.
Exactly. And then
Play to your mother.
And now Jimmy, because we used to play, it was a little bit more relaxing. The problem with Jimmy's lessons is he'd have all his Temple kids coming over. He'd go, yeah, just come over on Saturday. Well, you do a like people would like sit there and watch you do your lesson. It was like freaking scary. I mean, because these were all Temple kids that were like serious
School
about
musicians,
jazz.
yeah.
Yeah, and then the best guitar player, and this is somebody who was referred to me by Reggie Wu from Heaven's Edge.
Yeah.
He said, oh, if you're looking for a teacher, try Scott McGill. And I'm like, okay. So I went over to this young kid. He'd only been playing guitar for 10 years. And this kid could play the Paganini Caprices forward and backwards. Like, he played them backwards as a joke. Like, he was that skilled. If you ever get a chance, look him up on YouTube. He is one of the scariest guitar players and musicians around, one of the smartest. But I could play in front of him. He was like, yeah, because
he was down to earth at some
I
level.
went and goes, well, my first lesson, he goes, well, what are you into? I said, well, I love Al Di Meola. He goes, oh, yeah, this stuff. And he would improvise like Al Di Meola. I was like, he goes, yeah, that's great. Who else do you like? I said, John McLaughlin. And he goes, oh, yeah. And then he went, and I'm like, this. And I says, yeah, who else do you like? I said, Alan Holdsworth. And then he would improvise like Alan Holdsworth.
I'm going home now.
I said, stop. I said, I want to learn that. So he basically, this is before YouTube, before the internet, before anything. And he said, oh, basically what he's doing is he's doing like pentatonic scales, a lot of them. And then he's kind of like doing this and that with the whole tone scale and then the diminished scale. And then, you could play this scale up a whole step and it gives you that outside sound. So he really kind of helped me understand outside playing. But I could play in front of him. He was like one of the coolest people around. He's in England now. He's I think he.
See, now I think about what we're talking about here.
Oh my gosh.
About this stuff. So when you get into it, and you take a guitar player apart, eventually you figure them out. Any musician, there are isms that they employ in their playing. Mm-hmm. So in listening to that Ozzy thing, Randy was playing some of the stuff that we do in Over the Mountain. Mm-hmm. Some of the accents and the suspended fourth chords that go on in that song. Oh
yeah.
It was Looking at You, Looking at Me, I think was the song, which eventually didn't get released except for a B-side. But the isms become part of the vernacular of the player. And when you understand the vernacular of the player and you can get in their head, things become a little more clear when you're trying to learn. And the timing changes and the feel of the player. And these are things I never had to think about because I was always writing music and playing music based on nothing. I wrote music from my gut, and I still do to this day. There are things that influence it, but I never learned how to play like other players, except for two. When I was coming up, it was Ace Frehley and Ted Nugent. Good or bad, they're the two guys that influenced me the most when I was growing up. And when I got a little older, I got into Akira Takasaki, which I was doing split coil stuff on a lot of my playing and doing these fast runs that I didn't understand what he played. I was just doing my interpretation of what he was doing, which became this frenetic bullshit style that I've come up with. And then Vinnie Vincent came along, and he was basically a disciple of Beck. And I didn't realize that till later on because a lot of the stuff I do is Vinnie Vincent, which is really a beefed up version of what Jeff Beck did.
As long as you don't look like him.
I wouldn't mind looking like Jeff Beck. He was
not
right.
Jeff Beck.
No, Vinnie's. Yeah, we're not going there.
Yeah,
no. It's not about looks. It's about playing.
She looks bad.
But those are the things that shape my playing, for better or for worse. You might think I'm the worst fucking player in the world, but that's where my sound comes from and what I do. And yeah.
No, I think I remember watching a video, or I guess it was an interview with who's the drummer that worked with him.
With Vinny?
Yeah, the guy.
Not Bob Rock.
No, the guy from Blue Murder, Carmine Appice.
Oh.
And he said, yeah, Vinny, like you're a good player. Like, why do you gotta try to play so fast all the time? And
was he in the Mafia?
No, he's like
he might as well.
No, he's in Blue Murder. Same thing.
Vanilla Fudge.
But he said, yeah, you play, you could do all this Jeff Beck stuff, and he was great. But he started playing fast like Yngwie Malmsteen. He's like, it didn't sound good. But see, that's what made him sound like him.
It was his style.
And quite honestly, when I listen, his stuff is just so completely over the top. But I'm like, that's him. And that's what I love about him. And if he tried to change to do what other people think he should do, he wouldn't be him.
That was him and Kiss. So if you listen to Kiss Lick It Up, that's the watered down version of what Vinny was. And when Invasion came out, I was like, oh my God, this guy's fucking, He's so much better than I ever thought. And it's just a real short side thing here. Robert McKernan is asking us if we think Jimi Hendrix was an overrated player. There's no such thing. No, he was great. Tom Nally's out there. Tom Nally from This Is Tom's World, the greatest show on YouTube. You gotta check it out. If you like history, you like Philly history, you like history about Lower Ben Salem, check out Tom Nally. Dave McGuire's out there. He loves Blue Murder. Nick Cataldi. Oh, dude, you're too sweet to say that. Thank you, dude. I appreciate that, and I'm not going to say what he said.
He says he loves you both.
That's so very nice. But yeah, Vinnie Vincent. A lot of people laughed at him, not because of the way he looked.
Oh, that's why I laughed at him.
But they laughed at him because I remember listening to Vinny and playing him on my radio show when I was a DJ at WTYL at Bucks County Community College. And I would get off the air and the guys would be like, dude, that stuff's sped up. And I'm like, no, that guy's playing that shit. That you would hear if it was sped up. And there's certain things that, and Mark and I talk about tone all the time. When things are modified to that level, you will pick up on it. When a guy's playing through a simulator amp, there are signature things that are going on in his tone that you can pick apart, and you will hear the compression kicking in and crushing his tone and giving him what I call canned tuna. Yeah. And that's why I don't like these modular amps. Eventually, they are going to make a modular amp that does what it's supposed to do. And I've read a couple guys that I respect that have tried some, and there are some amps they say are actually killing it right now. Mm-hmm. There was a Joe Bonamassa is using one of the sampler amps now.
I can't believe that.
I know. All people. This just happened last month.
It must have.
He admitted that he is using one of these amps, and he is very happy with the tone that he's hearing, and it is making his life a little bit easier. Mm-hmm. So, but I still know that I can guarantee you he is playing with a live speaker on stage. It's not. So there is that interaction. The interaction between the amp and the guitar is what is so important in creating your tone. That is what creates the harmonic feedback loop that creates the danger zone, as I call it. When you step into an area and the guitar begins to feedback, you're not in the place you're supposed to be, and you find a way to make it work using your volume knob. Some of the best guitar players, when they do sound check, in the old days, and some of them are still around today, they walk out on stage before sound check, because every stage is different, every stadium is different, every place they play is different, just like these little bars we play. And what they do is they go out on the stage and they turn the amp up to whatever the X factor is. And they find the sweet spot where their guitar does what they want it to do with that harmonic feedback. And they say, put an X there. Ted Nugent was famous for this, Eddie Van Halen. These guys, they would find that spot. I don't know if Eddie Van Halen put an X on the stage, but he found that spot during sound check. So they knew during the show, they would go to that spot and they could do their thing. And that's my happiest moment in playing, is when I get those harmonic feedback interaction things. If you're playing with a modular amp and in-ears, that's fucking gone.
Yeah. I experience that too. Like when we do our shows and I go out and like it depends on the room, but I'll get my amp set up in a certain way that I think, this is the way it's supposed to be faced. But then I stand in front of it and it's like very brittle and crackly, and I'm like, this isn't right. But then when I stand maybe over a little bit, it gets a little better, but it's not quite right. But then when I turn the amp just a little bit,
just that hair,
because all it takes is one piece of wall or something that your speaker cab is hitting, it's making it sound that way, that's making you not like it. And all you have to do is turn it just a little bit. But that's kind of like the fun and the love of
playing live.
Feeling it. Yeah. And feeling it, unless you're just a completely left-brain person, it doesn't matter. But here's
the thing, Mark. Yeah. To the person in the audience, that's not even important.
Oh, I know.
But to you as a player, to get to the place where you need to feel comfortable, it is. So when I tell people, oh, I had to do this, and they're like, well, it sounded the same to me. And I'm like, of course it did, because you're not where I am but to get what I need to happen on my amp in my fingers, I need to be in that spot.
But here's what's important is, are you connecting with that person or those people? And the thing is that when you connect with them, it's because it's real. When it's
Nick
not
Cataldi
real,
just said the sweet spot.
yeah, and when there's
Julio's he's disagreeing with us. He's like fractals, IEMs all the way.
yeah, but it's then nobody could tell that nobody cares.
For him that may work. You and I do not have that experience. We don't have that experience.
Yeah, I mean, but when people come up to me and say, "Oh my gosh, like, what amp is that? How are you getting your sound?" Like, like I could see somebody who's like a great technician go out there and play, and I've seen it played through a, one of those computer amps, and it's like, yeah, okay, I guess they're great.
I watch the videos on YouTube all day long.
Yeah.
These guys, they can do these amazing arpeggios.
It just doesn't come off the same way.
It doesn't. And so I just watched a show. I went to Triumph I guess it was about 5 weeks ago at this point. And I can tell you those guys had cabinets on stage.
Yeah.
And I was watching Phil X. And I had an opinion of Phil X. I've watched a lot of his videos. He's a very, 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 very talented guitar player. But I'd only seen him live with Bon Jovi. And it was kind of like seeing this is what happens. I can't remember people's names. The guy from
Have another beer.
The guy from Dio.
Vivian Campbell.
Vivian Campbell. It's like seeing Vivian Campbell in Def Leppard. What's the fucking point? You're a great guitar player, and there's just nothing here for me. Let's go. This guy's got nothing, but he's really a brilliant guitar player, and you get no exposure to what he can actually do.
Yeah.
So that was Bon Jovi in him and Bon Jovi. But then I got to see him with Triumph, and it was like a whole nother world. So Julio, I hear what you're saying. He's saying that all that matters is what the audience hears. It is all that matters. What the audience hears is the most important thing. However, if I'm standing with a brick stuck on my foot because somebody dropped it and broke my toe and I'm uncomfortable, my gig is not a good gig.
Would it be like this? Can I just?
So if I'm comfortable and I can hear what I need and I can do things at the next level because I'm performing at that next level because I have the sound I need, that's important. For you, you're hearing your direct sound. It's consistent, and that's where your comfort zone is. My comfort zone is derived from a live speaker and my guitar doing its thing. So it's two different approaches. Neither is wrong, neither is right. They're both right for each player, and that's all that matters. Because I've watched you play, dude. You're like a fucking amazing guitar player. You're like 10 times higher on a level than I play at. I'm a blues-based, bare-bones knucklehead guitar player. I play from the world of Ted Nugent and Ace Frehley. I am just that guy. So it's all relative. It really is. Now, Jim, you were saying.
I was going to say, just as a kind of like, from my experience, like something that sounds like what you guys are talking about. Like, I always wanted to be a pilot, and I can't play computer games, simulator games to save my life. I've tried. I suck at it. I can't do it. But I know people are drone pilots and are very good drone pilots, and they can do all that stuff. I can't do it, but I have flown a plane. That was easy as fuck because I could feel it.
Yeah.
I felt it's like driving a car. You can play Gran Torino on a Game Boy or
but
on
driving a car is a whole
But
nother
driving
world.
a car, and when I was teaching my wife to Bree to drive,
Hi, Mary.
I told her, I was like, this is like dancing. You have to feel what you're doing.
It depends on the person,
And
though.
that's just the way I am.
It's
like
the third dimension.
Yeah, like for me, I need that tactile feeling to get into stuff like that. But other people don't. They're brilliant at doing their other thing, and that works for them.
This is the key to life. There are people that can operate in certain realms that are comfortable to them, and then you and I learned in that old school world, and that's where we find our happiness.
Yeah.
My hearing suffers for it. My ears ring 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, nonstop. I refuse to wear earplugs, even though I'm probably going to be deaf in the next 15 years. I cannot get the pleasure from my amp otherwise. And I sat down here last night. I had band practice with Instinct last night because we have a couple gigs coming up. And my amp sounded brittle to me again. I'm having this brittle thing going on. I'm not getting the sustain and the things I want. And my band practice, except for one song, was very...
Changing tubes.
Well, it's a different amp. It's not even the same amp. It's the same settings on two different amps. So now I need to go back and I've backed my presence off to the point where there's almost no presence. And I'm always a big presence guy. And I think that's what's happening. I'm losing that sizzle, which makes me sound thin at times, but it's what makes me happy.
Preamp tubes.
Could be.
Yeah.
But both amps can't consistently both be bad because they don't have the same hours on them. That's why I'm thinking about trying this third power amplifier when I go to Nashville.
Yeah, I guess a lot of it's mindset. It's kind of like, do you want to drive a Tesla that's faster than a Porsche? Or I'd rather have a Porsche that's like a 5-speed that I could actually change the gears and feel the power, the push.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's important to me.
That is a great analogy. So I'm going to give you an analogy that 90% of the people out there can understand. We're going to get you in here, Julio. Recently, my stepdaughter is staying with us for a certain amount of time here. She's getting some things together. And so she has her electric mower here. Her electric mower is in the arsenal of mowing abilities that I have. Okay. So I'd been mowing the lawn with her electric mower, and effortless. Sometimes it would bog down on some of the heavier grass. It's not the greatest electric mower, but it's good. And then one weekend I decided I need to get there's a lot of sticks in the yard, and I just want to just chop them up and not pick them up. So I pulled out the old gas mower, which was only a year old. Mm-hmm. The torque on that and the feel of that was much different than the electric. And I was cutting through the grass with no effort. And I don't have my old lawnmower is much better. It was a 5.75. This one's much smaller. Pardon me. But I could feel that intrinsic difference between the electric and the torque of the real gas mower. And that is going to be the challenge to inspire people as we develop electrical technology moving forward. Or maybe it just goes away and nobody knows that experience.
Now on the flip side of that, you remember that guy Sid Shally? We saw him at McStew's.
Yeah, I know who he is.
That guy plays through like one of those Boss Katona amps,
and he made it sound like,
and he doesn't use a lot of gain, and this guy just has hands. He's got what's the band he's playing in with Lynn? What the
Whiskey
heck?
something or
No. Oh, geez, Lynn, you're gonna kill me. She was in Former Strangers.
Right.
She's in a new band now with the drummer and his wife.
The guys we met, or
Yeah, well, I met them when I did the Nat Attack show, and they were all sweet people, and Lynn sings with them now. But they got a new guitar player who was Sid Shally, and I'm like, man, that kid is just great. Whether he plays an SG, whether he plays a Strat, but he doesn't have a lot of effects. He just plays through that amp with very little gain. And we saw him ourselves, we were like,
what's going on?
He's not doing Yngwie stuff, but it's like we couldn't play that sound.
It was inspiring.
He's got real man guitar hands, and it's just kind of like, and the guy that inspired me to really play like with an amp with tubes and bare bones was Dave from Medley Music. Like I saw him play through a 68.
Was a Plexi?
A Plexi with like a 60 Strat. It was beat to heck.
They're saying Atomic Blonde on the show.
Yeah, Atomic Blonde. That's right. That's right. And a fuzz bass. And
Nirvana. Sorry.
Yeah, he didn't play a lot of notes, but his one note sounded so much better than like 50 of mine when I was with Tapping the Vein.
Isn't that funny? Because I remember hearing that growing up. There were guitar players, even some teachers, I said,
yeah,
my one note will crush your 40.
It was unbelievable. And I saw that, and I was like, man, that's what I'm going to do. And I remember at this point, I was out of Tapping the Vein. Well, not out of Tapping the Vein, but I was playing in a cover band. We were home. We were done touring and all that stuff.
I remember.
And I had the Mesa Boogie Triaxis rig, and I had all this stuff.
Rick Copley has.
Yeah, and people used to compliment me on my tone up and down, and it was just an amazing rig. But I remember playing when we saw him, and I was like, he's got like nothing going on with that, and he just sounded amazing. So it kind of inspired me to like, I bought a Plexi, and I tried to find some kind of distortion box that I think would work, and it was the Metal Zone. And I remember going into Flow practice, the band Flow, and the drummer, he was very outspoken, always like running his mouth. And we practiced, and it was the first time he heard me play through that amp. He goes, "Oh my God, dude!" He goes, "You know, I always loved your tone." He goes, "That's the best sound I've ever heard." So I knew I was on to something. Then when I joined your band, Old School, and then I just was like, you know what? I remember having one of those Red Bear amps, and I found one on Craigslist for cheap. Let me go buy it and see how it works. And it sounded great.
It did.
And then I got that Sir guitar, and there was just a chemistry between your sound and my sound.
Oh, yeah.
And even guys like Kevin Hansen, if anybody knows Kevin Hansen, he's probably one of the best guitar players in Philadelphia. And I remember sending him a video of Old School, and he goes, "Dude," he goes, "is that like a board mix?" I was like, "No, it's just like some guy like taking a video mix off of his cell phone." He goes, "Dude, you guys sound really dialed in." So for him to say that was pretty cool. Yeah, the Fractals. He has a band called the Fractals, and he had a more well-known band back in the day. But yeah, he's got a lot. I think he actually plays through a Fractal now. It's funny.
See, and you and I were here in this room.
Yeah.
And I tried one of those simulator amps, and I was like,
"Yeah, the Kemper." I was like,
"It didn't work for me." It just, nothing against Kemper. I one of my favorite guitar players, who's one of the forerunners of using the Kemper, is Wolf Hoffman.
Yeah,
from Accept.
I remember. Yeah,
and he's got it down, and I think that comes to he put the hours in to figure out how it was going to work, make it work for himself, and when you watch him, he really pulls it off.
Yeah. So case in point, going back to the more instant sound phase, when I was in Tapping the Vein, I bought this Boss GT5, which was like
Mark, this is the greatest thing ever.
Ever. Yeah, exactly. And
my
I got
ME5 is the best, though.
Some of my most interesting tones that I used that device to record everything I did in Tapping the Vein. I used it on tour into a Mesa Boogie Mark IV clean.
That's the right way to do it.
Yeah, and that's how
I did it. Did you go in the front end, or did you go into the return?
No, just right in the front, and it was so easy. And I used that on our U.S. tour, and then when I went to Europe, I just used whatever backline was available, which was the guy from Paradise Lost. I just used his stuff, and I just ran into the front, and people used to come up to me and say, "Oh, what is that? How are you getting that sound?" And even when we were on tour with Opeth, and I didn't know Opeth was like a huge band, and Michael, he's like, "Mark, I really love your sound that you get out of that GT5. I have a GT5 too." He goes,
"It doesn't sound like
could
that.
Could I download your sounds into mine?" I'm like, "Absolutely not." I said, "You know how much time I spent making this thing sound like a real
you had the balls to say no.
Oh, my God. And then people are like, "Dude, that was Mike." I'm like, I don't know. Like, I just didn't know. Like, all the people I met when I was on tour, it was a shame. I didn't know, and I've never been a huge Pantera fan.
For $1,000.
I truly respect the heck out of them. I like them more now, but at the time, I didn't really know who they were. And here I am on tour. We're opening up for King's X, and we're in Dallas, Texas, and these guys kept feeding us shots of Jägermeister. I'm like, I don't want to do anymore. And the guy's like, "God, stop being a pussy." And then we go back to the hotel room, and I'm
you
like,
want to make out?
I was like, "Who were those guys?" And they're like, "Dude, that was Dimebag and his brother." I was like, "Oh,
wow.
What the heck do I know?"
Rich DiPietro worked with him because he was head of security at they call it the Franklin Music Hall now. It was whatever it was called, the Electric Factory back then. Oh. And he said that Dimebag was one of the most gracious people he ever worked with in the music business.
I mean, they were cool to hang out with, but my point is, I know Julio likes more of the instant sound thing, and that's what I did for like a decade.
It works for him,
and
he's unfortunately tuned out.
Yeah,
Steve Yasko, he's saying, "What's up, Mark?"
Hey, Steve, how's it going? I miss you. My favorite groove drummer.
Oh,
buddy.
he's a great.
Yeah,
oh,
he's one of my favorites,
dude.
man. I love jamming with him. But
what could have been?
Yeah. So. Yeah, I used that for probably a decade.
Yeah.
And even Ty Tabor from King's X, I remember I was like nervous. We were doing our sound check, and we were waiting to do our sound check on our very first gig with them. And Ty Tabor comes up to me and he says, "Hey, we're just taking a little bit longer, and we're real sorry about that, but it's just taking a little longer, and that's all." I was like, "Okay, that's cool." And then we got up and we started playing, and I started riffing out a little bit. And he goes, "Hey, Mark, I meant to tell you, I really like your guitar tone." And
dude, that's so nice to hear.
Yeah,
that
and
from
that
a
was
guy
the
like
Boss
that.
GT5. And then I guess you know, I know you've heard this story before, but when we were on tour with King's X and we're playing,
We miss you too, Steve.
in Seattle, Washington, and I think I told you, I was like, it was like the Galaxy nightclub all over again. I'm like, there's this one dude standing in the back of the venue, like with his arms crossed, just watching me, and I'm like, the frig, man. And like he's watching me for like sound check, and he's standing there the whole time, and I'm like, this dude's starting to like freak me out. It's kind of like Seinfeld when he sees the pilot, like, you know, he's like, the pilot's starting to freak him out. So anyway, at the end of the night, after we got done playing, we go to our merch booth and we're starting to sign autographs and stuff like that. And I look over and that guy is still over there, and I'm like, what the frig? He's still staring at me. At the end of, we got done signing, and he was a gentleman. He waited till we were finished, and he came over and he goes, "Hey man, I just want to say I really enjoyed your guitar playing." He goes, "I love your guitar sound, man. All those sounds you get, man, is really, really great." I was like, "Oh, well, thanks for the kind words." I said, "I'm Mark," and he goes, "Steve Lynch." I'm like, "From
dude.
Autograph?" And he goes, "Yeah." I said, "Dude, what are you doing here?" He said, "I live here." I said, "Are you like rich and retired now?" He goes, "Dude, I teach guitar for a living." I was like, "What are you doing now?" And he's like, "Nothing." I was like, "You want to come backstage and have some drinks with us?" He says, "I'd love to." And we hung out with Steve Lynch all night.
Wow,
And
what a great story.
We had a blast. He, what a cool guy. And he told me about like when Autograph made it big, their first tour, they toured with Van Halen, and Eddie Van Halen did not like him. And they almost got into a huge fist fight.
Was it because he does a lot of tapping and he was?
I think that had a lot to do with it. But part of it was that I think one night Eddie was maybe inebriated and threw a bottle and almost hit Valerie Bertinelli in the head, and that almost caused a ruckus between those two. And that's all I remember about that story.
We'll leave it at that.
But that was, hey, you know, I support like instant sound. Like I used it for decades, and I got some credible compliments from some people. But you know, where I am now, where we are, I love tubes. I love the
it's
three
funny
dimensions.
because where we are now is where instant sound would work the most efficiently. But yet here you are and I are hauling in these giant amps. And
oh my God, some guy stopped me at one of your shows down Screwballs a few months ago because you brought your shit in, and the guy was just like, and I just happened to be walking the other way, and he like stopped me for whatever weirdo reason. He's like, you guys still use tubes?" I'm like,
yeah.
Well,
yeah.
How about the guy at the pizza place when that
that
manager
was
said
great.
they saw us loading all this gear, and they're like, "Yeah, guys,
I don't know.
I don't know." And then the owner came by and he heard us talking about like this guitar, that guitar, this amplifier. He goes, "Oh," and then next thing you know, the owner happens to be a guitar player. We played, and one thing led to another, and like what they thought was going to be a tragedy turned out to be
One of the greatest nights.
Yeah.
And they offered us Halloween this year.
No.
Which unfortunately I had to turn down because not only do I do a Halloween thing and Jim, but our drummer Mike does, and you know, it's just an unfortunate situation. But we'll make up for that next year because we're going to be booked there, I think, on a regular basis. Speaking of which, I heard from Reese's, and they are working on putting something together for us, a package for some dates.
Oh, that sounds fantastic.
So with that said, there's Jimmy Tarachino. He's saying tubes are where it's at.
Tarquinio.
I'm sorry.
Tarquinio. Oh yeah.
I'm sorry, Jimmy.
No.
The world's most dangerous man.
No. Did Jimmy just get on now, or has he
He
been
just.
on?
I don't. Well, he just commented.
Oh,
for the
okay,
first time,
because
so.
he's a good friend with Mark Hafer.
Okay.
And I
wait,
think
Jimmy Tarquinio. He's
friends with Bill.
Billy.
Yeah.
Okay,
he's
I'm
been-
sorry.
yeah,
I'm thinking of somebody else. I just saw him a few weeks ago, unfortunately, at a sad event. But sometimes sad events lead to great things, and that was a moment there where a lot of people got to celebrate a really interesting person and great person's life. So I'll put that out there. So with that said, we're overtime, but we are going to still we're still going to do Florida Man.
Still want to do it?
Absolutely. Because
You want to do it now?
we absolutely should. And then we're going to do plugs and all that stuff. And, if we go to 9:15, 9:30, it's fine.
Oh, fuck it. I don't know what's going on. I got to get a new mouse.
That's fine.
It's driving me
I
insane.
like your mouse.
I hate this
That's
mouse.
what she said.
Yeah, let's get it
Just
up there.
don't get a gerbil.
So you want to run through this while I beat this thing against the
this
desk?
is a little thing we do every week, and it's really, honestly, and it's why we put it at the end. We're close to it. It's the only reason people really tune in. It is a little game we play that Jim has worked on for a long time.
For literally minutes.
It's
before-
called Florida
While you
Man.
guys were drinking tequila.
Oh,
I forgot.
You shouldn't tell
I
people
was
that.
busy.
So
I do it ahead of time, thank
up
God.
on screen, you're going to see, and Jim will read it to you because you people are stupid, and I am too. Yeah. There are six sentences up here, and they contain information. Only one of them is not true.
They're all headlines. You want me to do this?
No, I got it. Wait. So these are all Florida headlines, news stories, and one of them is not true because Jim made it up. And your job as a listener is to guess which one is not true. How's that? Was that better?
That works better.
Sorry.
All right.
I got way too deep into it.
You were 15 words ahead of where your brain was.
Because I'm on my too much.
No.
And I'm thinking about guitar.
It is what it is. All right, so here we go. So number one, Florida man tries to trade baby alligator for beer.
Why not? I mean, listen, dude.
I've done worse.
I got my kid to get me a beer once.
I've never done that. I won't do it. I can't.
I didn't trade him, but he did it for me.
I don't do it. Number two, Florida woman wielding peeler knife barges into racetrack, threatens to kill staff.
That's way too much information. Wait a minute. What? Let me read that again.
Florida woman wielding peeler knife barges into racetrack, threatens to kill staff.
Like
a potato peeler.
I'm going to skin your fucking hairy arm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Number three,
That
Florida
absolutely.
woman used dog urine for court-ordered drug test.
Yeah.
Number four, Florida man loads car with frozen iguanas. They warm up, wake up, cause car accident.
Oh, I forgot I left the heat on.
Or the windows down. Number five, Florida woman drives into man she thought talked to her girlfriend, deputies say.
What?
And number six, Florida man sets groin on fire trying to impress girls at party.
Can I guess?
Yeah, absolutely. That's part of
I
the.
think six. I think six is made up.
You think six is made up?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm going to go with number 5.
5?
And I've never made a decision so quickly.
That would be my second one.
We're probably wrong. Sometimes these things are so and these are actual headlines, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard to make up a headline that's weirder than the real ones. Anybody else?
God help us all. We're all going. Okay, so we got Nick Cataldi with number 4.
What about couple climbs to the top of Empire State Building?
Oh, that
Dude,
thing.
that was crazy. Robert McKernan has number 5.
Okay.
Dave McGuire has number 4. Jimmy Rossioli has number 4.
Jimmy James Terry.
Who has number 4?
Jimmy.
Jimmy James Terry.
Jimmy was one of the most interesting interviews we had. He was definitely he's in the top 10 of all time. I enjoyed interviewing
Does
him.
everybody know Jimmy?
I don't know. They knew him the night he was on. Let's put it that way.
Did I ever tell you how we met?
Michelle says 5. Okay.
We met. He
I met him when Lauren was trying to book Old School.
No, he auditioned me for his band, but that's another story. Let's go through.
We'll do that on the third time you come back. Tom Nally is number 5.
All right.
Bob Cole is 2. Everybody's tuning in. By the way, one of our old-time friends, Bob, was at our show this past weekend, and I want to give a shout out to Bob. Bob's a great guy. What a wonderful person.
Is that our singer, Bob?
No, Bob, the guy who used to wear the Ludwig shirt all the time.
Okay, because everybody named Bob is such a nice person. Did you happen to notice
I think that Bob is one of those names. If your name's Robert, you could be a dick. Unless you're Robert McKernan.
I thought if your name was Richard,
Speaking
you could
of
be a
Bob,
dick.
Bob Chavis just tuned in.
Hey.
Jimmy, I think your name might be Bob on some other level. He's a Bob. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about Neil?
Neil who?
I don't know.
Pie.
Neil and Bob.
Oh.
Is that your names, or is that like what you do?
No, Neil is generally a person that you don't like. At least in my experience growing up, there was. Okay.
Justin changed. He's going with 3.
Oh, he's making a change. Can you do that? I did that one week.
You can do it now. You can do it now.
All right.
I think he's just doing it because he saw Bree picked it and he thinks she has an inside track.
Neil and Bob. Is that your names, or is that like what you do?
That's good. That's why he was great.
Still is.
Just saw a movie with him.
Ford Fairlane?
No, a recent one he just did. He was like a dispatcher.
And you never saw Private Resort?
I think I did.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
All right. So we got anybody else over there? Anyone?
Oh, we got Michelle Lynn with 5.
Got that. I think. Yeah, got that. All right.
Michelle Lynn.
Michelle Lynn.
Where's the Jello shots?
Dude, did you see that today?
I did.
Yeah. I said we don't do them in the parking lot anymore. That's where
Halloween night.
We used to do a lot of Jello shots back in the day, secretly, at Old School shows.
Oh.
It was all legal because there was no alcohol in them.
Yeah. So see, I should have brought all the ones from Halloween.
Wow. So
some good stuff.
Ford got the most.
It did.
Fakes.
See that?
Oh no, that's not true. 5 got the most fakes.
Oh.
1, 2,
All right.
3, 4.
Well,
yeah.
I think we're tallied up.
We're done. All right.
Because we got to do promos.
All right. So here we go. All right. So nobody picked it, but this one's real, obviously, because anything with an alligator is usually real.
Dude, it's so true though. It's weird.
Yep.
It's weird.
Let's see. So, what the hell? Number 2. Sorry. That one is real as well.
I lost my ability to type again. I'm fucked.
Where are we going here? We're just going to keep going. Well, we're going to mix it up here. So number 4 was a big one, but that one's real, guys. Sorry. What else? Number 5 is actually real.
Oh, no. What the fuck?
So it's between Justin, Bree, and Mark.
Wow.
So somebody wins this week.
There's a winner.
And
chicken dinner.
And I guess, kind of neatly it is Mark, you win.
Hey, I won! Yay! I can't believe it. That's great.
I think it was fixed. It was fixed.
What did I win?
Not a whole
Nothing.
lot. Really, nothing, really.
Bragging
Literally.
rights.
There you go.
Damn, man.
That's pretty cool,
That's
dude.
cold
They
blooded.
walked in
Well
cold
done,
off
man.
the street and won the whole show. Wow.
So, yeah, just wander in and screw over everyone. So,
Do you know how I knew that was the one? You could tell.
I don't know.
I used to be able to tell. I used to be able to kind of.
You used to find minutia and
Now
figure do weird
you're
stuff. So I
finding-
fix
So
stuff.
I think you're writing the headline in a way that it fools my ass.
What I did was I standardized. I stopped cutting and pasting the headlines, and I did them all the same way. So you can't try to do that
see,
shit
you smart
because you did
motherfucker.
that and you were still wrong a lot of times.
But I was on to something.
But some of that stuff was so off the wall. It's like, you can't make that up.
But there was actually a news story where a guy set his groin on fire trying to blow up a plane.
Wouldn't you?
What?
No. If I had to blow up a plane, the bomb would be like right around my back of my neck, not my balls.
So I know everybody's seen that thing where the people climbed up, and then they said they got
Yeah.
they got arrested, but
They got
you don't.
engaged too.
Yeah, but you don't see them getting arrested? Like, how did they come all the way back down? Was there any
showed-
video?
They probably
I watched the news tonight, and they showed the cops arresting them.
Okay, where did they arrest them? At the
lobby.
observation
No,
tower,
they-
like all the way down
in
at the bottom?
in the tower, like one rung down. Like they were like, "Don't move, we're coming to you." They were inside the cage,
Wow.
but they were up there. And I give those cops a lot of credit because if I was a cop, I got a height thing. Like I could not climb up there to arrest
Oh,
them.
I was getting dizzy just watching them up
Dude,
top.
I was watching
Yeah,
it
it's
on the
getting
news.
sweaty, you get
My
hands all
palms
hot.
were sweaty.
Yeah, me too.
I am not good with heights.
No.
And becoming a homeowner, and having to get on my roof occasionally, usually to get my gutters cleaned out, even though I have gutter guards that fail every
Yeah,
fucking
that's why
year.
I don't do them. They're
I don't handle that well.
See, I don't have a problem with heights, but like, I do the thing if like I go to the edge of a cliff or the edge of the roof or something, and I stand there and look, my feet tickle.
I know that feeling.
It's like I feel like okay,
When I get high,
you,
my dick
you could
tingles.
fall here, but other than that, I don't. I mean, I told you the story. I got in a fight on my dad's the high roof of my dad's house with a raccoon.
Jim, get up there and get that raccoon.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was like an hour-long struggle with this raccoon, and I'm wondering after the whole thing was done, I'm like, my God, did anyone see that? I'm totally not self-aware.
I wasn't living here then.
No, but I mean, it was like, I did. My parents came home one time. I was up on the roof. I had a Grover doll and I had a football helmet, and I would drop them off the roof over and over again. My parents came home and saw me doing that, and they're like, "What are you doing?" Dropping
Trying to
Grover
kill
off the roof.
Grover.
And they're like, "All right, well, don't fall," and then they left.
Jimmy Rossioli's still on?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But I have dreams about falling from heights. I don't
mind.
heights
I don't
are
mind
bad.
heights. Heights.
Heights
I
are-
actually like being high up.
Well,
it's being
obviously the two people who did that today, they may have a fear of it, but they are comfortable in a
But
scenario
see, that's
like
a
that.
stupid thing. Like I won't do
I
that.
would be frozen, and they would have to get a helicopter to drop a line, and then I'd still be scared to grab the line.
There are certain things I don't do just because I don't want to get foobarred or dead. Like I don't do a bungee
well,
jump.
dead's not good.
Like I was going to do the bungee jump down at Wildwood one time.
Did you see the girl who got thrown off the bungee jump last week, and they forgot to tie
Oh,
the
no.
rope? They forgot to put it on her feet.
Nice.
So they pick her up, and you're watching it because they film, and they just threw somebody off of a bridge, and she's obviously dead.
Well, I was going to do the one in Wildwood. My
And
friends
that's
and I.
why I will never.
This is
ever,
why I won't do it.
ever do those.
No,
things.
this is why I won't do it. We went down, and they were like, "We already did the bungee jump." And I'm like, "All right, how much?" It was $50, and I'm like, "All right, and I have like $3. I need that for tolls to get home." So yeah, I'm not going to do it. But you know what? Why don't we do
What
this?
year are we talking? 3 years for tolls?
Yeah, this was a long time
Jimmy's
ago.
here.
It was like college. But I was like, all right, look, man, what we'll do is we'll come back in a week or two and I'll do it then. What do you think? Okay. What I found out was the day I was going to do it and didn't have the money, they fucked up the calculations. And a guy tapped just hard enough to break his neck and make him a quadriplegic.
Oh my God!
And I was like, yeah, I'm not doing
All
that.
for a
I
throw.
don't need a carny with my life in his hands. You know
No,
what I mean?
dude.
Like that's
All right.
not doing that.
So Jimmy Rossioli's still here. Nick Catoldi, he said they had one job. Yeah, it was to put the harness on the girl's legs. So Jim, any promos this week?
Yeah, sure. Hey, you're hanging out, you're thinking of something to do, check out MoncoRadio.com. And if you're hanging out on Tuesday night, 9 o'clock specifically, check out my daughter's show, The Cat Call. Her radio show is pretty cool, and she's been doing it for a long time, and they are letting her keep doing it because she's doing a great job. So check out The Cat Call at 9 o'clock on Tuesdays on MoncoRadio.com, where music and minds meet. There you go.
Thank you to my friend Matt Porter.
Yep. Matt is a great guy. He runs that whole program, and he's a great guy.
He is.
We gotta have him in here one of these days.
Do you have anything you want to promote?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know how many people know this, but I'm in real estate. I've been in real estate for about 11 years. And in June, I was blessed. I took 4 listings. If anybody is looking for any properties, I'll give you the lowdown. We're in King of Prussia here. I have a listing at 137 Walker Lane for $525. I have one all the way down in Yeadon, Delaware. Beautiful Yeadon, Delaware County.
Delco.
But that's a big house. That's like 5 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, and that one is $475, down from $530. I took it as an expired listing. I also have a beautifully renovated 1-bedroom condo apartment in University City at 4637 Pine Street. It is gorgeous. You feel like when you walk through this courtyard, you're in Europe or Greece or someplace crazy like that. And the whole place has been remodeled.
So Arabs are pinching you?
Well, I don't know about that. All I know is the electric, plumbing, it's all been redone. New bathroom, new kitchen, new windows. The windows were $13,000 alone. They were historically approved by the HOA, and that's a beautiful one for $285,000.
That's
and
cheap.
then how many was that? 3 listings? Oh, and then I have a 4th one. I'm going to meet the seller tomorrow. Their tenant moved out. It looks like everything's been cleaned out. That is a 1-bedroom in High Spire condo area in Westchester. It's a 1-bedroom for $290. That one actually comps for like $315, but he said no. He said I want to be a quick sale. I don't want to mess around.
These are great prices.
He's a motivated seller and a very smart guy too, and has come out to see the band a few times. So is Nick, the owner of the condo in West Philly, and so has the seller for 137 Walker.
See that?
She comes out to see the band too.
It's all about connections.
Yeah, and believe it or not, I haven't met any of them from the old school gigs. I met them from real estate and brought them to
into
the
the
old
fold.
school gigs.
Yeah, that's a great thing, man.
Anybody that has any interest or needs help, even if you just have questions about real estate, you're welcome to reach out to me at 215-280-3903. Feel free to call or text. I'm happy to help in any way I can.
And you guys hear us talk about King of Prussia all the time. It's a great place to live. It's a great place to work and live. And if you have an interest in that, Mark is the guy that can help you find that dream home right here in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. Now, I'm saying it the wrong way because we say King of Prussia.
Yep.
We have a great, just to give you an idea, we have a great fireworks display happening this week, July 4th at Hoyser Park. I said it correctly, according to my son. They have a professional sound stage there. There will be a band playing. I don't know who it is this year.
It's a bunch of different guys.
So they have that. They have the full fair going on with the Ferris wheel.
I was over there a couple of days ago. They're setting up everything.
Well, I drove by the other morning driving to work, and it said parking limited and all this. I mean, they were putting everything in, and I am really excited. And I feel bad because this is going to be the only the second year that I've participated in this, because most years the band plays, and I'm usually we play and then usually play in the afternoon, and then I go out to dinner, get drunk, and then I come home and go to bed.
Who's that?
And watch fireworks after my nap on the porch. But lately we have not been playing the 4th of July, and that's fine with me. I really don't want to play the holidays, just to be honest with you, and I turn down 90% of them.
But this 4th of July,
But this
at Screwballs.
This 4th of July at Screwballs will be Midhaven. Mike's band, drummer from Old School. He has another band, Midhaven, with a bunch of people that we love. Tegan and
Steph
and the whatever Stubbs and everybody's going to be there. So we're gonna go down and check them out after the fireworks and hang out, and it's going to be a late night, and that's great. So I'm looking forward to that. So there's always something to do in King of Prussia. There's great restaurants, great bars. Great venues to see music, the Rib House.
Sit out on our porch and watch Pugsley talk to himself.
Well, unless they live on our street, but there's nothing
fun
for sale here. But if you want to live in this area, and I'm telling you, it is a great area to live. Great schools, great community.
You can pee in your
great
yard.
people.
Nobody bitches about it.
Except for that one guy.
Yeah, but that's why I'm pissing on his yard.
Oh, okay. So here's my promo. So Old School will be back on July 10th. At Sweeney's in the Northeast, which is really on the border of Bensalem. Let's be honest; it's practically Bucks County. It's 30 feet away. All right, we're going to be there with Brandy Lee Nelson on vocals with Bob. Always an exciting time when we have 2 vocalists. It makes it a little bit different, and we do different things. So if you want to see a great show, come out to Sweeney's on July 10th and see Old School. On July 17th, Mark will be in Los Angeles, rocking out with his whole family and seeing all the sights, and that leaves me alone at Peppers. So to do that show, I have employed my skills to learn all the things that Mark does wonderfully and do them my style. And I'm bringing in the kids from Instinct. They're going to do 2 to 3 songs per set. It looks like 3 songs. So 9 songs from Instinct that night.
The kids from Instinct.
The kids. They're the kids.
They're children.
They're children. They're 60 plus years old. So we're gonna do some stuff. We're gonna do some originals and covers mixed in with the old school show. It makes the load a little easier for Paulie, and that's what life is all about.
You don't want to have a thick load.
I have a thick load generally, but we can't seem to get away from that.
What are you gonna do?
And then, on top of all that,
I don't eat this thing.
Instinct will be at McStew's.
Yeah, I went to MDP too. Shut up.
On July 11th with 30-06 and a bunch of other bands. And I'm sorry, I'm not saying who they are because I don't know who they are. So we'll be there on July 11th. So the 10th and the 11th, there will be a back-to-back weekend for Paulie. And on July 25th, we'll be with Midhaven, the band that's playing on July 4th. We're going to be down at Sweeney's. Sweeney's is becoming the place to go. I'm going to be there with Instinct, Midhaven, and Seems Like Tuesday, a great band. Love those guys. Played with them a bunch, and they have a lot of stuff going on, and they have a lot of music on Instagram and Spotify and all the grams and the Instas and all that shit.
All that interweb
They're a great
stuff.
band. We played with them at a bunch of shows, including Harrah's in Delco or wherever that place is.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's all my plugs. I'm going to keep plugging all that shit for the next couple of weeks. Lots of Instinct shows coming up and old school shows through the end of the year. Old school.
Keep going. You're good. I'm just
oh,
playing some music.
I see. I don't transition well. This is why I never made it in real radio. So yeah, so there's lots of stuff coming up. Instinct, you can catch us, occasionally through the year. Old school, every month we are at Screwballs. Every single month.
I love it.
It's great. It's a steady gig, and they love us. So we'll see you soon. And next week we'll be back with Jericho from Hammer Sheep, and lots more to come. I have a feeling Mark's going to be back. There's lots more stories we can pull out of him.
Oh man, yeah.
And this is great.
Just pull the string and
see. What I want to do is get you and Chuck in here at the same time. That's the dream. That's the dream interview. That's the dream interview. So anyway, Jim, it's good to see you, man.
Yeah, it's good to see you. It's been, a couple hours.
I know.
Good to see you guys. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah,
I had a
thanks.
blast.
Bringing
Yeah,
beer,
thanks for the
tequila, and all
tequila.
kinds of
man.
cool shit.
Yeah. Normally it's the other way around, but I was like, I was thinking about you both last night when I had that. I just
Whoa.
I needed a drink.
Porn
I needed to sit down.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
like, I took a sip of that tequila. I was like, these guys would probably love this.
I know two alcoholics that would like this.
I'm bringing a bottle tomorrow, and I'm going to
Sinners.
turn them on to it, and then I'll, bring some Ring the Bell from Conshohocken
Yeah,
Brewery,
stuff's
which is
good.
one of my favorites. And
Great stuff.
I'm glad, you invited me, and we had a great time. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, man.
Great to
Anytime.
have you,
Thank
dude.
you.
Yeah. And that's that, and there was nothing we could do.
Well, that's all we got.
Peace out. We'll see you next week.
We'll see you. Take care. We'll be back next time.
Fuck
Same
off.
Thing and that stuff. Yeah. And
Peace
we'll
off.
peace. No, there will be no peace. There will
There's
be
nothing here. I'm leaving.
Let's go have an all-American breakfast.
Come on, give me a fucking break. Can I get a refill, please? Hey yo, fuck phase. Get out of here. What are yo?